Alright, and done. Oh hi, I didn't see you there. I'm currently preparing for tonight. You see, there's been this creepy animatronic dude in my house as of late. So I've been needing to take some extra precautions as of late. You see, it all started when that weasel got all offended when I almost didn't talk about its game. And somehow it's found its way here. What a fun Halloween. But if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying to survive the night. But what do you know? I record myself talking about FNAF VR to keep me company.
So FNAF VR, right?
Maybe that wasn't the best choice. Has reality been getting you down? Do you feel like you're as worthless as a dead frog? Has your usual coping techniques not been helping with your downward spiral into insanity? Well, you might want to try virtual reality. With new space-age technology, you can escape this miserable reality and go to a new one. You can work at a job, go on vacation, and even listen to music. Okay, maybe it's not too different from life. But okay, in all seriousness, VR is really cool. It really does feel like you're in a completely different world. At that job, your employers are these mysterious robots. On that vacation, all kinds of wacky things can happen, and while listening to music, you're slicing through blocks like a freaking boss. Or, at least you could be, if you aren't me. But there's a specific VR game that I believe breaks all known laws of aviation. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. Now I know what you're thinking. But Luke, Five Nights at Freddy's is dead. No one wants to hear you talk about it. And to that I say, cool. Good for you. But anyway, let's hop into FNAF VR and see what this has in store for us. So this game was made by Steelwool Studios. Officer Steelwool Studios. Alright, so the game's starting and we're on this little roller coaster thing. The announcer dude explains how there's been this indie game dev that's been ruining their reputation with lies. And while they were based on some unfortunate truths, they were just lies, guys! Yeah, you're very convincing. Alright, so it seems like I need to sign this contract. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for loss of lives, flow transfer, blah blah blah. Alright, that all sounds fine. And boom, we're plopped into this new area. Without further ado, let's jump into our first minigame. This one is a remake of the original Five Nights at Freddy's game, so it's not going to be too hard. Well, except for the fact that you can't frickin' turn off the monitors. And because of that, they punish you more for keeping the doors shut. That doesn't sound good. But I mean, otherwise, this works just like the original. The best part though is that everything is fully 3D and you can actually see the animatronics walking up to your door. And because it's VR, you can look out your doors to see if the animatronics are there. This replaces the shadows on the walls from the original. Because you can't turn off the monitors, I always kept it on Foxy, which means I only got jump scared by him once. Ever. This game is just a bit easier in general. Except for Night 5. Frick Night 5. Just do whatever you can to survive. But in spite of this, playing this version is just so much better. The original setup just makes so much more sense here. It's like the original FNAF games in VR were just meant to be. Little side note, I find it hilarious how 21 Pilots somehow managed to find its way into my playthrough. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I've set up some cameras around my house to see where the animatronics are. Oh yeah, those weren't security cameras. They were just regular cameras. So it seems like I'm gonna have to check the doors myself. I did notice how it breathes super loudly when it was breathing down my neck. So yeah, I might be able to hear it from there. And the same sentiment goes for the next section. These minigames are a remake of FNAF 2. Now, I tried the demo on mobile years ago, but besides that, I haven't played FNAF 2. But in VR, oh my gosh, I love this so much. All of this is about skill. Even if you get bombarded with animatronics that have sheer bad luck, if you have the skill, you can beat it. And they didn't really have to taint anything. The mask is still there, the cameras didn't have batteries in the original anyway, and the flashlights are functional as always. And if they're there, you know what else is here? The puppet. Yay! If you didn't know, the puppet is my second favorite animatronic, just behind Lefty. But too bad for me, since you have 2 hands and 3 things to do, you pretty much won't get jump scared by the puppet. Ever. Heck, I've never had a jump scare from the puppet in this entire game. That's right, the puppet joined the likes of Chica from FNAF 2. And won. To be honest, none of the animatronics really stood a chance because of my freaking pure skill. Except for that freaking balloon boy. I didn't really know how to deal with him at first, so that frick. And just like Springtrap, FNAF 3 always seems to come back. And this one game, I just didn't get. On my first few tries, I tried my best, but on night 4, it just started throwing so much at me. There was even this glitch on my first and second playthrough where Bonnie Baby spawned right next to my door. But yeah, I did end up beating it. But this is making me stressed. I don't even want to talk about the mechanics, like the failing systems, how you can lure Bonnie Baby, and how there's a vent next to you that you can attack you from. I just don't. And if you're wondering, the whole Bonnie Baby thing was also from my playthrough. I just say weird things when I play games, okay? Yes, I'm still alive. I had a close encounter earlier, but I survived it. Wait, what's that? Duh! So the next is obviously my favorite, Night Terrors. You know what? Fine. These are FNAF 4 inspired, but aren't really remakes. And I do not like these. But you know what? I'll throw you a frickin' bone. I'm gonna beat these. First up is Funtime Freddy's level. Now this is... I don't know, I was never really good at FNAF 4. It's not really my style. Keep the stupid bunny at bay with your flashlight, and keep Funtime Freddy at bay by doing... I don't know. I pretty much kept the door shut for the entire night, except at 4, where you have to close the closet. Next is... oh no, Tentacle Puppet. You've got to check the doors and not get killed. But remember to shine your flashlight at the tentacles. Do not let the internet win. After that, of course, is Baby. Okay, so, in this one, it's a bit different. You're just in the closet. If Funtime Baby tries to charge at you, you gotta close the closet. But don't keep it closed for too long, or else the plush babies are gonna frickin' murder you. And that's the basic gist of it. But finally, there's frickin' Nightmare Fredbear. I hate this dude. I hate him. He's so difficult. You've gotta wait for sound cues if you hear footsteps. That means he's frickin' in the halls. But if you hear a laugh, he's either on the bed, then you gotta flash your frickin' light at his head. If he's not there when he laughs, then he's in the closet, and you gotta close the door, like with Funtime Freddy. I do not like this level. I hate it. I hate it so much. And I'm done with that. I just want to go to dark rooms. These are all pretty unique. First, you have Plush Trap. He works the same as he always has. Every 10 seconds, he'll move, and you'll have to get him on the X. Then you have Nightmare BB, who is the same. He'll just move at different intervals. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Plush Baby level. Your flashlight has limited batteries, and it needs to recharge if you use it long enough. And there's little plush babies trying to kill you, and they're hiding throughout the room, so you'll have to find them and get them to go away with your light. And this is kind of difficult. It took me a while, but once I beat that, I was treated with a new version of Funtime Foxy's minigame from Sister Location. And oh my gosh, is this so much better than Plush Baby. Now instead of being on a track, you can navigate freely, and it is so much better than the original minigame. And also much more scary. So you're supposed to make your way to the other part of the room and escape. Okay, so Bun Bun is still there, but luckily I took some precautions. You see, it's a little known fact that bunnies love X's, so I put one there, and hopefully he'll leave me alone until 6. Now, if you're anything like me, you love being scared, and there's nothing more scary than trying to work while you're constantly having to turn your attention to something else. And it just so happens that one of these minigames adds a scary twist to this everyday problem. Welcome to Venture Pair. In this minigame, you have to solve puzzles while keeping Mangle away. The first level, simple, but the second level is much more challenging. Instead of Mangle trying to get you, it's Ennard, and the puzzles are so much harder. Frick. Moving on, there's Parts and Service. This minigame is one of my favorites. Have you ever played the game Operation? Well, it's kinda like that, but instead of you killing someone, the person you're trying to help you will kill you if you mess up. In the first level, you have to repair Bonnie. This one has some tricky stuff. Though if you've repaired Funtime Freddy, it won't be much of a problem, as it's the same thing with perspective. As you go throughout more and more nights, there's more and more challenges, like with Chica and the Cupcake, Freddy and his ribs, and Foxy and his usual mechanic of being an attention hog. Alright, so Bun Bun is handled, now I just need to worry about the animatronic in the hall. It's open. The door's open. I should probably run. See ya. And now we've discussed all of the mini-games. But there's a few more things I haven't told you yet. First of all, there's hard versions of all these levels. For the remakes, they're pretty much just stand-ins for the 5th and 6th nights, and for the others, they're just harder versions of the original levels. While usually just being visual changes, in Vent Repair, all of the vents open at once, and oh my gosh, that is so much harder. On another note, there are some tapes you can find lying around. There's also a tape recorder, which is up on the prize rack. Once you get that, you'll be able to listen to the tapes you collect, and something else can appear. The more tapes you find, the more this bunny dude gets closer to you in the level select area. And I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like he's becoming more and more real. Okay, once you get to tape 15, the tape lady who you've been listening to the entire game tells you to not get all of the tapes. On tape 15. But if you get the 16th one, despite being warned not to, she says that you can actually kill the bunny dude, and you've got to let it start a soul transfer. But before I talk about the tape endings, if you just beat all the stuff, then you get the pizza party level. Throughout this, you just wander throughout this thing, pick a pizza flavor, pick a cake flavor, and then you get your birthday party, and you get stuffed in a Freddy Fazbear suit, and you're on stage as Freddy Fazbear. Let's go. Now for the tape endings, which require doing what Tape Lady says. To do that, you gotta do the certain thing while it's trying to soul transfer. It took me a few tries. I even got the bad ending, which involves you actually body swapping with him, so him being successful. Oh no. But if you do succeed, you find yourself behind a door with a little window latch thing. It opens, and the bunny looks through it. And he waves goodbye, because you're a freaking loser, and you didn't freaking listen to her in the 15th tape. So yeah, overall this game is pretty awesome. The game outshines every other game in the series. No more static images, there's animation, the overall quality of the art is even better than ever, and I believe this just works so much better than the originals did. Even if it weren't for the animations, even if the visuals weren't better, I believe FNAF is still so much better on VR. But that's the old FNAF. The new game looks like it's doing something bigger than ever, with more complex mechanics and an entire mall to explore. And it's also made by Steelwool Studios, so I have very high hopes for this game. When it comes out. If it comes out. Oh crap, I'm probably gonna die. Oh my gosh, it's the freaking weasel! So it seems like he's not a threat anymore. Cool. Oh wow, I survived. I can't believe I did that. But I think it's about time I talked to Pest Control about my little weasel problem. So I'm gonna get on that. Happy Halloween. Boo.